You know what I thought I might not do anymore? You know what I thought I might not do anymore?
What?
You know what? Let me word this a different way. What I've decided I'm going to do now is perhaps I'm not gonna introduce the guest. They've read the name of the guest on the episode name. Why would I then give some big elaborate introduction to somebody who, like, if you clicked it, you probably already know who's gonna be. You know what? Let me start over. Cut that part out. Ladies and gentlemen, let me please welcome to you, and I hope you also feel as welcome as I am flattered that you've decided to join me. George Basil is on the program.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, man. I need a big elaborate introduction for my ego. So thank you for doing it.
Okay, so let me start over with a little more compliments.
No.
The very funny, the very handsome, the great hair-having gentleman that is George Basil.
Now I'm turning like red, like feet.
Oh, blushing?
A little blushing.
Oh yeah, man. I get blushy too. I'm a real for somebody who comes out and says, compliment me, I'll accept them all day. When somebody compliments me, I'm like,
gotta go.
I don't know how to take it.
I know. It's something I actually work on because I would do when I was doing improv shows in New York. The bathroom there was only one bathroom, and so when we were finished our show, we'd come out from backstage and you'd pass the bathroom and there would inevitably be this huge line, and I'd stop and thank everybody for coming. Uh-huh. And it's a weird time to stop and say anything to someone when they're holding piss or poop as much as they can, and they're just like, I don't want to talk to you. But I learned pretty quickly that even after a bad improv show, people were really nice. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, that was great. And if I felt bad about myself, I would sort of refuse their compliment. And it's such a shitty. Yeah. Or I'd be like, oh, no, that one wasn't good. Last week was way better or something. And then it would make them feel like shit for trying to make me feel good. So I'm trying to still learn how to figure that out.
Honestly, I have to say, I've had the same lesson in wrestling, this exact thing. Because when somebody goes, oh, that was a great match, I'm like, you don't know a great match. You don't know what it's supposed to look like. How the heck can you say that was a great, like, that was dog shit, man. You don't know. But instead I go, wow, thank you. Because I know you really meant, like, I was great, which, I have to let myself hear that I'm great sometimes to try to start believing it myself.
Absolutely. That's the exact reason to try and actually hear it and accept it. And I did the same thing you're saying. It's just like, even now a compliment is quickly replied with like, oh, thank you. That's really nice. Sweet. Badass. But deep down, man, God, I hate me.
Well, where's your damage? What's the I hate me? Where's that come from?
It's like probably little nuanced accidental parenting shit that my parents did, because my mom was an immigrant and my dad was a cop, and they just didn't know what the hell they were doing. Like any parent.
All parents are ill-equipped, and most children are accidents.
And and grow up to be dum-dums. Yeah, it's so easy to hold on to,
I mean, it's probably a way different thing for you as a parent too now.
Yeah.
To go like, well, I gotta navigate this a little bit differently than how.
For sure.
How there goes my alarm for the meter.
Go put money in it.
Gotta go put money in the meter.
Yeah, you're totally right though, and it's also navigating it by trying to break new ground with parenting. So I didn't receive a whole bunch of physical attention or love, and because of that, I give my daughter a ton. And it's weird because sometimes I don't even know how or what the fuck. I'm like hugging her and being like, yeah, I was mad a second ago and I didn't need to be, but I love you no matter what. And I didn't get that. No one ever did that shit to me. So I don't even know if I'm doing it right.
It's weird, man, because like for me, I don't have kids, never had kids, but like my sister and I are 11 years of difference. So I'm 11 years older than her. So my role as like a male figure in her, we didn't have a dad. There was no dad role model. So I was like, that was my role. I was that. And it's funny to see it now. She just turned 26 a couple days ago. So
happy birthday.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday, Jess. I mean, sure. If you listen to this,
she has to, she better. She's your fucking sister.
She don't listen to this. but like I learned when she was like 17, she told me this story about how when she was in kindergarten, she had this like adventure gym. So they had like all these mats set up in the elementary school gymnasium, and then they could crawl
obstacle
around and have like
shit. Yeah,
adventure
I love that
gyms.
Shit. Hell yeah!
And in that, she got like this ringworm on her face.
Oh wow!
And I made fun of her for it when I was in high school or something.
Yeah.
And I just made a joke about it a couple times, and she held on to that forever.
Oh, and you had no idea.
And I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't find out till she was 17 years old. And I'm like, you've been holding on to that since you were 6 years old? Like, all that time you've been holding on to that? And I'm like, please, 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 don't hold on to stuff like that. Please, 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 if I ever do something.
I'll apologize. Yeah.
I have to apologize so much for that. And then I have to, like, go back and try to go, like, all right, well, what standard did I hold on my role models? Like, can't, I have to humanize them. I have to humanize these people who I took outside of the realm of being just some person. Just some
flawed ass person.
You flawed ass individual.
Yeah, all of us. I know it's really strange. Like what you're saying reminded me of something. It's even okay that you made fun of her because you're her older brother. Mm-hmm. But something in your sister, it shook something that made her sort of absorb it in a way that she couldn't just get rid of or talk to you about. And that's so fascinating, dude. It's just like we kick our own asses.
Yeah, man.
As kids, we're taught how to. Yeah.
I was always saying this about, and I said it about my own dad. And like, I mean, he was in and out. Like, he was in and out of my life. And when I was a kid, I was like, he says things, and the second he says them, he stops thinking about it. It leaves his lips, and he stops thinking about it, and it's in my head for the rest of my days. I'm like, how powerful those things are. Like, and introducing me to shit that I didn't need to know about at 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like, just through his words that he wasn't thinking about. Yeah. So I was like, I got to be more conscious about what I'm saying. And then here I am, the same jerk who's got Jess holding on to anger and aggression at me for 10 plus years. Like, I'm my dad.
Yeah. It's crazy how we repeat the trauma by accident or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So be careful about how perfect you think you are. Because you're just a flawed ass human too.
Everyone out there, be careful how perfect you think you are. You're a dipshit. And we love you, but you're a dipshit.
There's this guy, and I meant to talk to you about it because I heard you talking on a different podcast about being Greek.
Yeah.
And like visiting Greece a lot. This guy, we called him, he was in my family. He was like my cousin's best friend, and he lived with us.
Cool.
So we called him Mike the Greek. It was Mike Kalamaris. And
wow, very Greek. Michalis Kalamaris.
Kalamaris, yes. And he would tell us stories of Greece. He would say, if like the gypsies come up and try to talk to you, just spit on them. Just spit right on them. And I was like, I'm not. I don't even want to go to Greece. If it's acceptable to just spit on people, I don't know if that's a place where I want to be.
Wild West, saliva, Wild West, dude. Yeah, I agree. Don't spit on him. But like, he would tell you like all kinds of magical shit about Greece.
And that's the thing that I hold on to
Yeah.
because I was
That's
told
the
it when I
one
was 12
thing.
years old.
Yeah. You're like, wow, I don't ever want to go there. I don't want to have to spit on someone.
Right. It's like I just have a pack of gum and I would just spit the piece of gum at them because I think spitting in general is pretty gross. I don't like
Yeah.
it. I don't like bodily fluids being expelled
Thrown
onto the
about.
ground.
Yeah.
I've never thought it was acceptable. I never thought peeing outside was cool. Like
Yeah.
it was never a thing I was really into. So much so that like I'd rather pee myself in the snow than pee outside when I was a little kid. That's an
Oh,
actual
man.
thing that I did.
It's keeping yourself warm. You're a survivor.
Oh yeah, it was totally for warmth.
Yeah.
Experience the warmth.
Plus, your mom was cleaning up your underwear.
Yeah, she was doing my
not
laundry.
You. Yeah, fuck that. I
Anyway, we can do hula hoops around, jump through hoops to justify peeing yourself.
yeah, mom will take care of it. I had a couple COVID and piss emergencies, in the sense that I had to pee so bad driving around LA, and nobody's public
They
restrooms
all close
were
their
open.
bathrooms. I didn't understand how like having a closed bathroom is preventing this disease. I mean, I get safety, be safe, be cautious, yes.
Yeah,
but I don't understand
totally.
how closing the bathrooms has anything to do.
I mean, I guess.
Please,
for,
I'm not an
like,
expert. I never claimed to be an expert. Not an
You're a bathroom
official
doctor, dude. You know the ins and outs. I don't know. I mean, I guess you think of a gas station. You're going to walk in. You're not even going to walk in. If you just get gas, you're going to do it at the pump. You're going to fuck off. If you need to get stuff from inside, Diet Coke, tampons, whatever. You're going to walk in, grab it, buy it.
What was the first
touchless.
thing you said there, George? You said
Diet
Coke. Okay, Diet Coke. I thought you said a Coke. Like it was. I thought it was
One
like
single dye, a Coke, a tampon. I can make anything out of that, dude. That's a party.
it's like, I want to change the color of something real quick. Let's put some dye on it.
Bloop, bloop, and then roll one die. Oh, die. I see. Even better. But you can go in and do stuff without touching anything nowadays. But if you go into that bathroom, all bets are off. There's jizz on the ceiling. You don't want to be under that.
I mean, but has jizz caused anyone COVID?
Good question. And that I'm going to Google Dr. Fauci's email.
Somebody's gonna be like, "Hey, George, can I check your Google history real quick?
Yeah.
Does jizz cause COVID?"
Dear Dr. Fauci, does jizz cause COVID? Why did you Google search that whole question?
It'd be funny if you just started typing it out and it predictively texted that.
Yeah. So many
people.
Yeah. Tons of people want to know the truth about COVID. Yeah, I bet jizz doesn't transmit it. Yeah, if I had to guess.
Yeah. And
You're
even,
a wrestler.
Even like poop or sweat, or I mean, it's airborne. It's a maybe if you sneeze, maybe a face jizz. That's what I call sneezes now.
Yeah, face jizz. If you get face jizzed, yeah, you do. You definitely got COVID. Even if the other person didn't have COVID, that's where COVID is born. It's in a face jizz. And then that's.
I think if you Google face jizz, it's going to be way different than sneezing.
Yeah, and I can't wait to do it and learn. I just want to learn.
So, what were you going to say about the wrestling?
Oh, you're a wrestler. I think that's so badass, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I grew up I was such a lucky kid to be in the era of Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, and then all the old badasses like Junkyard Dog were still around, and Coco Beware and all those super excellent entertainers.
I think
Macho
that was
Man.
just a smidge before my time.
Yeah.
Before my time of being a fan, that was a little bit before me. Like, I think my fandom came in like 96.
Who was that? Who were like the top?
Undertaker. That was like
Hell yeah.
when Kane first debuted.
Yeah.
The debut of Kane, Hell in a Cell, 97, or I think it was it 96 or 97? I think that was when I was like officially hooked, but I think fish hooked. No, when I was fish hooked originally. Fished in
by Kane.
Fished in by Kane. But I think I was officially hooked by the WrestleMania right before that was Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, that I Quit match with the blood.
Yeah.
I think that was what was like. I think that might have been right in the era when I became a fan.
Yeah, they'd always really get you with like I don't remember if it was King Kong Bundy that got bloodied up or if it was Hogan, but those WrestleManias. Match? Yeah, was it Hogan? It was Hogan, huh? It was like
Hogan was gig happy back then. Like
hell yeah,
he was like you sneeze on him a little bit. Not only is he going to get the COVID, but he's gonna bleed all over the place.
yeah. You faced jizz on Hogan back then. Man,
when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
It was just such a cool thing. There were these two dudes, the Bushwhackers. I saw because I lived in Baltimore, like I said, so my dad would take me to the convention center and we'd catch some live wrestling matches, and it was like. As a kid, I was so amped. And I think I've actually said this on another podcast, but my entire, like the hours that I logged watching stand-up comedy, it was some New York feed from a club in New York, maybe like Comedy under the Cellar or some shit, was on for a solid hour right before late night WWF would come on. At the time it was WWF. And I remember trying so fucking hard to stay up because it was like 11 and I was a kid. So it was like, I'd have wet rags and shit and just be laying there in my bed with the TV on and be laying like, I definitely didn't know how to masturbate yet because I would have just done that. So I was like preteen kid trying to stay awake, like cold water rags.
It's like, all right, now, I don't know to be concerned here, but George has got cold rags all over his room. Yeah. I think he discovered how to masturbate.
Yeah.
We need to sit down and have a conversation with it.
Meanwhile, nope. I haven't figured it out yet. Girls, but didn't know what to like about them.
Do you follow Jessica Kirsten on
follow
Instagram?
On Instagram and stuff? No. Yeah. Dude, Instagram is like I'm glad I saw your message. That's the only social media that I have, and I think I only I'll go to it on my phone if I hear, like if someone's like, "Hey, do you know Jessica Kirsten?" It's the easiest way to see a picture of somebody.
Okay.
But then I close it right away, and I never ever want to look at it again.
She did this video where she was talking to her daughter. She was like, I think we're going to have a conversation about the birds and the bees. And I don't want to quote this wrong, but she was like, no, it's a talk about sex. And the little girl was like, so birds have sex with bees? Are these gay bees? What is going on? Like, she was asking way more questions about why it's birds and bees that are associated with a sex talk.
Well, good for her. She followed the right lead. Because you got to
ask the tough questions.
Get to the heart of it, man. Yeah, I'll look that person up.
I'm sure you know her. I'm sure you know who it is. She's a comic, a New York comic.
Then yeah, I do know her, and that daughter's mine.
Do you? Dude, you know what's fun? I want to say very much appreciation. So yeah. I feel so privileged and so lucky that you were able to check my message and get back to me.
Yeah, fuck yeah, awesome. I loved it. Thanks for having me, man. It's great. I appreciate you reaching out and liking the work, and then calling me handsome was huge. It's just that part was the closer. That was your intro for yourself. That's how you introduce yourself.
Did I say that about myself? Here, let me open up with something you might not know about me. I'm handsome.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate it. It's really nice. I did a podcast not long ago with a couple guys in New York that were both really sweet. And, it's not, bless you. I don't think it's usually, yeah, face jizz is what I meant to say, not bless you. That's what I'm going to scream now.
I
People don't usually ask you on their podcast to be mean to you, so it's a pretty good way to say, like, yeah, sure.
did they ask you to be mean to them?
Yeah, it was it was like an S&M like shaming podcast. I liked it.
Do you want to plug what that podcast was so people can listen to your meanness?
It wasn't really, and I don't remember what the fuck it was called. Oh wait, oh no, I don't remember.
No, I really didn't want you to plug it. Fuck them.
Sending traffic elsewhere. It's like a detour.
Hey, pause this podcast. Go listen to that one, and if you feel like it, come back to this one when you're done.
Unsubscribe from this one. Resubscribe after you've listened to the other one. Yeah, but I think it's cool as hell that you're a wrestler, and like, I just didn't even think of it back then because they were bigger than life. Yeah. They were the biggest stars, and they were so athletically gifted that I never was like, oh, I mean, I played as a wrestler, and my poor younger sister would get like I'd DDT her and shit. I'd pile drive that poor little girl, and she'd be like, I'm so happy she doesn't have any spinal cord damage.
Yeah, but I used to do Undertaker choke slams to my little sister all the time.
Yeah, she's like perfect size.
Right,
like
exactly.
Smaller for you to just safely smash.
Undertaker choke slam. Rock bottom.
Hell yeah. But you actually did it, and I think that's pretty badass. So
well, I mean, when I was a kid, man, all I really wanted to do at first was I wanted to be a comic. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, like my whole childhood. And then around like 96, I found wrestling, and I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And I was like, maybe I want to do this instead of comedy. And then didn't realize till like I was years into wrestling that I could do both things.
Yeah.
And I also didn't realize that I could have a podcast about it because those didn't exist yet.
You invented them.
Right. But I say this all the time, and please take it and apply it if it's something that works for you. When I was a kid, I said I wanted to be a comedian, and I said I wanted to be a podcaster. I said I wanted to be a wrestler, but I didn't say I wanted to be a podcaster because podcasting didn't exist yet. So, like, in moments when you feel like aimless, maybe the thing that you're really looking for and the thing that really like lights your fire doesn't exist yet. Just be patient and have some grace with yourself. Like, you're not some loser. I mean, not yet.
I love that.
Not until you don't find.
Yeah. You're not dead yet, loser. So, no, that's a great message, dude. Because, just as recently as like yesterday, I think I haven't worked in a while. And then as an actor, it's like, wait, am I an actor? Or have I just been lucky enough to get a couple acting jobs? And now I'm a dipshit. And I get to hang out here and bless you, face jizz.
Space Jam.
That's the new Space Jam. It's way nicer to be cool to yourself and give yourself the benefit of the doubt or something and be nice.
So do you do stand up also?
No, I tried it twice and I didn't give it enough of a shot. I think it was just too easy for me to get up on an improv stage that like just black box, infinity playing. You know, you can do fucking anything. You can be in a car if you put a chair down and sit there and go like this. You can be in a palace if you go, welcome to my palace. And I was like, hell yeah, that's magic. So that's what I started doing and did it every single night in New York for 6 years. And then when I came to LA, I was like, I've been scared of stand up for so much. I watched a ton of it in Austin at Velveeta Rome and stuff. watched a lot of great comedians, but then I tried it here at an open mic twice, and I hated it.
Well,
I
it's
hated
so
it.
soul crushing. It's very,
Yeah, it
it's
can be. It very much is. But what it leaves in so many people is a crushed soul,
right.
and it's permanently crushed. And I hated like I wanted to make friends, man. I wanted to go smoke a joint with all these guys and like have a drink there and then walk outside and meet them and have fun. And this is not every, obviously, like a stand-up community, but I saw it in more than one place. They're just like standing in the back. I just found improv so much more supportive. I'd sit in a fucking show with 4 other people in the audience and 7 people on stage at the Magnet, more people on stage than in the chairs.
Right.
And you just love it and you clap and you tell them that they're doing great and you support them.
Well, that's like, dude, honestly, I think that the yes and is
huge.
the way just to live your life. And I
Totally.
love the yes and to anything and everything.
Oh yeah. Totally.
That's what like, welcome to my palace.
Yes.
Yes, and that's a great palace.
Yeah, for sure. And it is, I think you're right. It's the building blocks of just having a good, solid time on the planet as a human. But I love so many comics, especially like the old schoolers that like Bill Hicks, when he would get up and start saying shit on that microphone that you were like, whoa, he's right. Ha 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 ha. He's right. Ha 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 ha. He's right. That's what stand-up to me should have always been. Like, they have such a powerful medium to like be funny, but also say shit against whatever the government or.
I have to say, dude, like open mics can be tough. What was the open mic that you went to?
It's here. It was the basement of the Hollywood Hotel. I'm sure any like proper stand-ups would say that that's a tough one or it's not friendly, dude, down there.
Open mics suck, dude. Like, I think a lot of times you're going to open mics, and the only other people there are comics who just want to get their shit in, and it's like they're not really there to laugh. Like, I think that's why I gave up on my open mics a long time ago.
Yeah,
it was just like, all right, I don't want to sit and hear these people's jokes that I heard yesterday.
Well, right.
That aren't getting over today, like they didn't get over yesterday, but they're still trying them. I'm going to stop going to open mics for a while. So I think I stopped going for a while. I didn't like completely stop. I'm like, I quit these open mic things because that's the way to get, you know what I mean? That's the way to get seasoning. You know, that's like, I'm not a name. I'm not a draw. And so I can't go, oh, here's Corey Castle with 0 TV credits in the comedy realm, but sure, go ahead and book me.
I dare you. Yeah, I don't know. And here it might be different than where you're at. And New York had such a crazy, rich stand-up world, but
yeah, I spent an outright amount of time in the New York scene. Yeah, as well. I mean,
you're so close.
Yeah, it's just
2.5 hours away.
Sick of train ride and just that's the noise the train makes.
Yeah, that's that final train, dude.
It's a bullet train.
Last tunnel. Yeah, it's 3 bullets.
This is the place to get train sound effects. You're ever looking for effects to put over your B-roll?
Yeah,
come right here.
You're at the right place. I know I should have probably tried stand up more, but I think I'd already had such a great time doing improv that I was like, nah, I like improv. It teaches me a little bit about acting and about staying grounded and about being fucking crazy, face jizz, and I'm happy here. So fuck trying something new.
Well, like so many improv comics are also stand-up comics So you'd think that an open mic would break out in like a improv
God, that'd be
element.
so great. Yeah, I'd love that. If the two
That,
worlds were able to find a way
yeah,
that
if
comedy.
they could merge together and like one of the, and it would be a cool little black box theater for open mic stand up. Like that would be like, there's also a completely built-in support system there.
Totally.
Like
Yeah.
you're not doing comedy to a bunch of people who are bitter and not ready to laugh and not ready to support and not ready to clap. Dude,
Right.
one of my favorite things to do is like collaborate and sort of like listen to people's bits and like, you know, go give some notes or like hear some notes on some stuff that I did. Like that's some of my favorite shit. Like I will sit sometimes at like 4 a.m. and just hang with friends who are all over the country on the virtual stuff, and we'll just read stuff out of our books and
Oh yeah.
and just try stuff out.
I think that's awesome. I wish that would happen, man. There are walls ups for some reason. Like improvisers don't get along with stand-ups and vice versa, or however it goes. I don't fucking care. The Magnet did a pretty good job of having shows, stand-up shows, then an improv show, then a stand-up show. But there was never an integration of the two where it's just like, hey, let's have a stand-up and then another one. And then maybe those two stand-ups can get up and do a scene with an improviser, or the improviser can get, I don't know. It would have been cool.
That sounds fun. Maybe let's make it a thing.
Okay.
Let's talk to some folks who know some things about stuff and say, hey, folks who know things about stuff, we got stuff you got to know about.
You got to know about it. And you are millionaires, we hope. No? Oh, well, we'll be going. And thank you for your time. Face jizz. Out.
I had this bit that it's not a bit I've ever done on stage, but it's a bit that I just do with my friends when I'm talking about it. When I went into public school. I used to be in Catholic school. I went into public school when I was like in 6th grade, and I met my first atheist. I had never met anyone who told me they were an atheist. Somebody in 6th grade at 12 years old had it all figured out.
Already, yeah.
So to me, this was such a foreign concept to hear that someone was an atheist, because I was in Catholic school for all those years, and I was just like, what is he mad about? He's just mad about something. He was mad about that they said one nation under God in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I was like, what am I gonna do if this guy sneezes? What am I gonna say? Like that was what was going on in the back of my head. So I was just like waiting, but like nervously waiting for the day when that would happen. And when he sneezed, I finally just went, "You sneezed." Oh, if I could go back in time, I would say, "Face jizz."
Face jizz. Yeah. And everybody would have been like, "What did you say?"
Well, one of these days, you're going to listen to this podcast.
You don't know what a podcast is? You're an idiot. They don't exist yet. Hell yeah.
You're not a loser yet, loser.
Hey, you're not dead yet, loser. You're not a total loser till you die from it. He was such a loser, it killed him.
He died from losing.
No,
don't even put even G in it. Keep the G out. It was just losing.
What is your? Can I ask what persona do you, when you start to cultivate the personality of wrestler that you are? It's obviously like this huge block of physical ability and athleticism, but then it's that other block which we love so much, like whether it's the Undertaker just being this fucking dark, crazed like lunatic, or Ultimate Warrior freaking everybody out. How did you cultivate yours, or are you still?
I am an imperfect person, an imperfect human,
a flawed human,
in a constant state of changing and evolving. So my character in wrestling, for sure, is constantly changing and evolving. For the last couple of years, I've been doing kind of like a Rick and Morty thing in wrestling, where like I have the access to alternate universes where I have alternate universe versions of me who come and like get into the fight, and then like they do all the hard work, and they like if somebody's got to get hurt, then it's going to be them and not me. But like also we can't touch each other because if we touch each other, then two forms of the same matter can't exist in the same space. So if we hit each other, if we touch each other, we explode and we don't exist anymore. And then I always go, haven't you ever seen Time Cop? That's exactly the justification for why we can't touch each other. So if another alternate universe version of me is in the ring and he's getting beat up and he goes, tag me in. I'm like, what, are you nuts? You don't know we can't touch each other? Have you ever seen Time Cop?
That's outstanding.
So that's something I've been doing.
Excellent. What a tag team partner. You don't even reach out. You're like, hell no. Incredible.
Yeah, but man, very, very welcome to. I think I always want to make sure I state how important it is that I say on the record how valuable to me the effort, the currency of your effort is. The currency of your time and your attention are super important to me, and I'm very, very grateful, very, very grateful that you'd allow yourself to be on the record on my 237th episode? 38th episode?
38.
What are you, nuts? What are you, nuts? You don't even know.
You don't even know my number.
You don't
That's
even
my
know.
Number.
No, but I mean, how important it is. So, I mean, I want to give you this opportunity at this point to just ask me anything you want to ask me.
Yeah, great.
Just give you the floor. Pay you back the effort.
I appreciate it. I will have some questions. Thanks though for being so generous. Generous.
Ellen DeGeneres.
What questions do I have, man? I guess the wrestling one was a big one because I'm so fascinated by that. Do you tour and stuff? Do you fight mostly in Philly?
These days nothing. These days not
no
a
live,
lot.
no live, nothing.
Kind of Jersey, Delaware, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, like
Cool.
that loop. Some New York. I did a show in Knoxville, or Nashville, 2 years ago. But
hell yeah, that sounds like fun.
I don't really travel very much.
Yeah.
But that was the only one where I got flown somewhere. So I was like, well, yeah, hell, I'll take it. No one ever flew me anywhere. I'll take that.
You want to put me in a plane? Okay.
You think I'm worth not only what you're paying me, but then on top of that, how much a ticket costs for an airplane? Oh, shucks.
When in actuality, they just don't trust that you'll get there on your own. They're like, there's no chance Corey's going to be here on the day that we need him here. Put him on a plane. Tie him up if you have to. I felt the same way. There was always, from my first jobs, one of my first jobs was an HBO comedy ad campaign for the internet. And
you were advertising the internet because it needed the press.
Yeah, the internet.
Like, welcome to the internet.
Yeah, they were just about to roll out the internet, and they needed a face.
Hi, I'm the internet.
It
was like those Justin Long commercials.
Yeah,
I'm an internet.
Yeah, and the other guy was like, I'm an ultranet.
Get out of here, ultranet. You don't know. You don't know what's funny. Get out of here. You
don't have all the answers, idiot. It was for HBO comedy, and I booked it. I was living in New York, and I remember going to this casting place, and The director in LA liked me. It was like this. It was like via Skype or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, "Great, you got the job, man. It's so huge." I was fucking floored. I just had my daughter, so I was like, well, maybe I don't have to work at the Apple store for that much longer, but I did. And they flew me and put me up at a hotel on the west side, like at the beach. And I was here for like a week, and it was a dream, dude. I was just like, wait a second. You're taking me there and putting me up there, and I'm just allowed. I walked through the doors of the hotel, and it was early in the morning because of the time difference, I guess. And they were like, "Good morning, Mr. Basil," as I walked through, and I was like, "Is my dad here? Who just said that to me?" Because no one talks to me like that.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a cool thing to, get a little, it pumps you up and you're like, hell yeah, I get flown here.
You're like, oh, dude, I was hanging at the airport. And I was at the bar with another wrestler, and he was like, "Oh, let's do a shot, dude. Let's do a shot." And the bartender at the airport was like, "No, we don't let people. We don't do shot. We're not allowed to give you shots here at the airport bar, because like somebody overserved somebody and they caused a ruckus on a plane. So we're not allowed to do that anymore." And I was like,
Huh.
"So
Okay, so then let me get a vodka soda, but no soda.
it's just
And
to me,
let's see.
I was like, imagine being the bartender. Imagine being the bartender who's getting fired. Be like,
For over serving some dipshit.
over
that was
somebody.
like,
And I'm like, you're putting a lot of responsibility on a bartender. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bar
at an airport, dude.
at an airport. Like,
It's an airport bar. You got enough fucking problems. And
TSA agents, when they're patting you down, they should be like, don't overdo it at the bar. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't. Are you the type of douchebag who's going to overdo it at the airport bar?
no shots. Yeah, that's, I can't imagine, dude. I was a bartender for 6 years in Texas at a great place, but even great bars have shit folks. And it was like on 6th Street where all the stuff is. And,
Was that in Austin?
yeah. And it was, like I said, they were family members. Everybody that I worked with and a lot of the patrons were my family and social circles, essentially. But, man, there's just a twisted-ass feature to alcohol for some folks. And they don't know when to not do it, and they don't know how much not to do or to do. And then they're on a fucking plane all of a sudden and being like, "Wow." It's just like,
What do you think? Like, that's what, like, why they call it spirits. Like, it
Yeah.
gets in you. You're possessed by it.
totally.
That's like you gotta exercise. You gotta
yeah.
exercise your ability to be possessed.
You better have a good spirit, dude. If you're a bad spirit, we'll see it, and we're not gonna like it. We're gonna
We're
kick you
not
off
gonna
the
let you
fucking
not gonna let you fly on this airplane.
plane. Exactly. Totally. I would never trade it ever. The service industry, my time in it was so incredible, and the relationships were so good.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? We're gonna show off
Yep.
our hair.
You ready? This was the next part of the competition.
All right, here goes.
I think yours is cleaner. I can already tell.
I washed it like 4 days ago.
Holy shit, dude. Yours is really long too. Oh man, you've got yours like in a bun. Oh hell yeah. Corey, look at you, dude.
Check this, bro.
Here we go.
We're just gonna be dudes who are just hanging out. No big
No
deal or
problem.
whatever. I mean,
Nah.
we're gonna just.
Competition. I gotta let this dog out. Do you have dogs?
I don't. No. Honestly, my family lives across the street from me. My mom, my brother, and my sister live across the street, and they have a dog, and I get all my dog time in with
and
going
then you
over
get the
and
fuck
hang.
out. Then you get to go home.
Yeah,
Great.
I love. Yeah, exactly. I love hanging out with dogs. I love attention from dogs. I love shaking a dog's head.
Yeah.
Those are like my favorite things to do. But I can't, I don't have to. I don't have to. I don't have to walk them. I don't have to pick up
You
his
don't have
poop.
to pick up their shit. Yep.
Right.
You don't have to feed them, which I've got 2, and they're very big. And I don't know why.
My neighbors across the street on the other side have these big dogs that I get to play with, and I
That's
don't
great.
have to. I don't have to take them out. I don't.
You can wave goodbye.
We're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna rile you up, and then I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, that's the best uncle relationship you could have. It's like get all toothy and start yanking on them, and then like, see ya. Have fun playing with kids.
I was saying the most uncliest thing. I was talking about my. I was blowing my nose earlier, and I was like thinking about my uncle who, whenever he blow his nose, it sounded like a bullhorn, or like if you're like dragging a chair across a wooden floor. And I was like, that's the uncliest thing you could do. I was sitting out here blowing my nose, and it was like beep, beep. And my roommate was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "That was me blowing my nose. I don't have one of those manly horn nose blows."
Yeah, you just like you cousin blow your nose.
Yes.
It's very gentle.
I blow my nose like I'm your cousin. I will not only do a very little tweedly-dee fairy sound when I blow my nose, but I'm going to rile your dog up, and then I'm going to leave, and you have to deal with it.
Brutal.
So, what are you getting through the panties with? What's your methods been so far?
I have a hill. I'm really lucky to have it. I think I moved here like a year before the panties, and so I it's a tiny like living situation, small quarters, but big old outside wandering zone. So I started planting trees when I first moved in, and I just kind of tend to them and make sure gophers don't kill them. And it's a lot of outdoor gardening, hill maintenance, like, making weird retaining walls and stuff. Like right now, my homie that's here helping we're going to flatten this piece of land and maybe hardscape it so that the cars can come in and out. I don't know, fucking do it. Hey, you just keep yourself going with like dumb shit that, isn't saving the world, but it's helping.
Your world is the most important thing. Like,
sure, it is.
Honestly, like when it comes back to, I think like even an old like Buddhist, I think it's an old Buddhist thing was like tend to your garden, meaning like don't worry about that person's garden, you tend to your garden. That's because
you can't.
That's what you can control. You can't
exactly.
You can't control. You can't control the fact that the world's shut down and that people aren't acting the way they should be acting. Like you can control what you can control, and in fact, that's your hill to die on. Sure, go ahead and die on it if you need to, you loser.
You dumbass. Yeah. Well, you finally died, didn't you, loser? Well, now you're definitely a loser. Official loser.
You were set out to do it, and you did it.
Congrats. But that's a lot of it. Did some traveling in isolated ways where took my daughter to Grand Canyon, just drove when the fires and stuff were happening here in California.
Was she 12?
She's 12, yeah.
Okay.
It's cuckoo. And then, but not much in the way of traveling. We had her name's Lula. She's a big animation person. She loves like comics and animation. And she's an extraordinary illustrator herself. But
cool.
Yeah. And so we watched all of the Studio Ghibli movies. And then I found out that there's a museum in Japan. And so I've never been to Japan. I made reservations to fly there, to go to the museum. We were going to be there for 10 days. And then that was April 5th through the 15th or something. And that was 2020. So that's just like, no, that was a toilet sinker, dude. And I set up so many things because I was scared of arriving in Japan and then just being like, I don't know what to do. So I had restaurant reservations, the robot place, the ninja place, the museum, like I mentioned, all this other stuff. Like, let's go to this owl cafe. And
there was a stand-up comedy improv robot ninja joint that you were thinking about checking out.
Exactly. I was like, oh, that's the idea that I have to start here in Japan. My own robot ninja improv stand-up cafe. Interesting. With yummy sandwiches. Classic American burgers. But yeah, we canceled it, and that was the biggest travel thing that we had lined up. But then, yeah, like you said, everything shuts down. People are struggling, so it's like sit tight and make sure your hill's in order, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like my hair down either, huh?
I very much dislike it.
I fucking hate it. It's like such a pain in the ass.
It's too much in my eyes and in my mouth, and
it touches my ears. It touches it.
Why can't things be my favorite way all the time? I don't like when things are my least favorite.
This sucks, and this sucks too, and this sucks, and this sucks too.
Somebody come and fix everything.
Oh, I wish Santa was real. Oh, and Jesus, and Easter bunnies.
Well, the reason I was talking about Mike the Greek also was another thing is he was a
gambler.
He was a very flawed human.
Sounds Greek.
West
shoe. Face juice.
He was kind of disrespectful to people, and I mean, I loved him because he was kind of part of my family, but like I kind of didn't like him very much, and we would always talk about like he came and saw me wrestle once, and that was like probably like 2003. So it's a really long time ago. So for all the years after 2003, every time he saw me, he'd go, wrestling. And I just thought that was funny. But then he would come around and we would talk about Sons of Anarchy. We had a mutual like for the show Sons of Anarchy. But then like he would say things like, why is Jax always crying? I'm like, oh, you mean like after his best friend gets killed? Oh, you mean after his wife gets murdered? Oh,
I don't understand that.
What? You mean an actor who's acting? Well, okay. Like with emotions like humans should have? When you're talking about people, like you can just easily robot ninja kill somebody and not ever worry about it. Like, and I just always kind of thought he was like a dickhead. Right. Yeah. So,
he could be.
He died, and I wasn't sad, and I was sad about not being sad.
Yeah. How did he die? What happened?
He had something exploded inside his head. Some sort of aneurysm thing.
Oof. Shit. Okay. Yeah.
Some brain explosion.
So.
I was talking to one of my really good friends, and I was just talking to her about how upset I was about me not being upset until even after I was like one of the pallbearers in his funeral. Like,
really?
And I was like, I just, all the ceremony of it was kind of making me feel something, but I don't know if it was just because everybody else around me was sad. And then, like, I was talking to my friend Brittany about it, and she was like, all the things that you're talking about is not who he is anymore. That's all human ego shit. And that's not what he is anymore. So you want to wish him well on his new path. And
Yeah.
and that's kind of like the difference I took from it. And I guess that's kind of the way I kind of apply it to forgiving people before they apologize. Because it's like, maybe this is coming from a place where you don't know that it's not healthy. And maybe you're on a path to eventually find that out. Like me, who made fun of my little sister when I was 17 years old, and she held on to it for all those years. But it's like, maybe when you're being manipulative, sometimes maybe it's not because you're intentionally outside of your subconscious mind. Like that's some built-in programming that was designed to get you to your money, your hill, your trees that you're planting. So it's like I found that as like a kind of therapeutical. That's not a word.
It's a good one, though. I think we know where that fits.
Yeah, therapeutical. But then I felt like that was so bringing up all the Greek stuff and all the Greece stuff. Maybe kind of go back to like full circle it back to going with like how like I can take all the fun stuff. And like I said, the wrestling thing, the thing that he always says, wrestling to me.
If that made you laugh, yeah.
Yeah. And like I got to meet his mom once, and she like came from Greece, and she didn't speak any English, and I think maybe I met her like twice, and she didn't speak any English, and she just thought it was so cool that I was a wrestler, and like wanted me to
pile driver,
send her pictures and like sign pictures and like stupid stuff. I mean, I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, I'm not like in the WWE or anything, but
they loved it. They loved that you were, this thing. It's really cool.
So forgiveness, man. That's what I'm saying. Forgiveness.
I think that is it. Yeah. Forgiveness, dude. Today and forever, until you're dead, you fucking loser.
you died from loserdom.
Always forgive until you die from being a loser. That's as good as it gets.
That's like the Jack Handy quotes from SNL.
Yeah, exactly. Those beautiful haikus. Almost positive.
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Yeah, it's interesting that to lose somebody that was he your age, older?
He was older. He was probably 10 years older, something like that.
Yeah.
But did you ever dream about the SNL stuff?
That was my biggest dream.
Dream,
for sure. Well, because Eddie Murphy was on it, and I was a huge Eddie Murphy fan, and then everybody was so fucking good on it, man. Martin Short, like they were so classic. It was really cutting edge TV for a while back then with the early cast. Being live made it interesting and special, and that's not the case anymore. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't. I don't know anymore. But
are you not watching it anymore?
Oh God, dude, I haven't seen it, and I don't see anything though. The TV's off. I'll stream movies or some shows that my daughter likes, but I don't watch anything. Like you mentioned, Sons of Anarchy. I worked with that dude. I guess one of the guys from it. He was on Flaked. Sort of gray, long hair, had a beard, heavy set dude.
Ryan something.
Could be. Could also be Jeff. Could be Sean. What if it was Ron? You know, could be
Ryan, Ron, Jeff.
Ryan, Ron, Jeff, Sean.
Ryan, Ron, Jeff, Sean. He's got a really long IMDb page. If you ever looked him up on IMDb, you'd be scrolling for hours.
Oh yeah, you can't type it in and hope to find him.
If you do it wrong, it'll be like, "Did you mean Ryan, Ron, Jeff, Sean?"
Yeah, and you're like, okay. Nope, that's not him. That guy's too young. He was such a sweet dude. He was like, man, you're so good on this show. And I was like, thanks. I wish I could. I know you're on a hit show. I wish I could repay the compliment, but I just don't watch shit. But anyway.
I just don't watch stupid ass shit.
I don't watch losers on TV, sir.
No offense.
Yeah. Thank you for the compliment and carry on. Loser. Hope you die from losing. So I screen tested for SNL in 2014. 2014? Is that a year? Yeah.
But it does absolutely feel like it was probably 40 years ago now.
It does.
I mean,
yeah.
2020 felt like it was like infinite.
20 infinity, dude.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be in 20 infinity 1, 20 infinity 2. I got to go. So I was living in LA, but it was early on, and I was still friends with one of the head writers that was there then, and she, I didn't know she was going to do it, but she invited me to be a part of this like showcase here in LA, and I did it. And then they were like, yeah, they want to see you in New York and screen test for this thing. And I improvised it. So I fucking failed miserably. Like I got one laugh. I did a George Lopez impression.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What were your impressions? Don't you have to have like 3 impressions or something? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the format.
I did Mark Maron, so I tried to listen to his podcast. I listened to his. It was the year Robin
Sean
Jeff John. Robin Williams died this year.
Okay.
It was that year, and so I think Mark Maron was replaying an interview with him. So I was listening to that, and I was going to do a Robin Williams impression, which would have been in horrible taste. But instead, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just do Mark Maron." So I did a horrible, fucking untested, unpracticed.
Dude, I can imagine you probably have a good Mark Maron, actually.
Yeah, I probably do, and I probably didn't the day that I screen tested for SNL, because everything I did, dude, I did not prep. Unfortunately, I didn't script anything out. I knew I was going to do this guy, this character. Don't know where he's going to go, but I'll follow the laughs. 0 laughs. I'll do this character. Yeah, and then it goes. No, it's like vacuum sealed. That studio is like, you can't hear amoebas. You can't hear shit. And all the people sitting there eating popcorn or doing whatever, they've been watching people all day, so they want to get up and move their asses. They want to move their muscles. They're tired. I was called in for like a 4 o'clock audition, and it was like 8 p.m. when I went up there. So I've just been sitting in somebody's little cubicle writing room waiting to go up. And then it was like, now I'm tired and I need a meal. So they weren't optimal circumstances, but again, I should have been more prepared, or maybe I shouldn't have. And maybe
well, sometimes the key to getting stuff sometimes is not giving a shit, and sometimes it's more than giving a shit. It's giving like tons of shits. Like, what's the middle ground? How many shits do you give?
Yeah. Well, for SNL, if I honestly took it as seriously as my childhood self would have allowed, I'd have I would have shit my pants. I walked up to that stage, that like world famous to me. Because the world
to me too.
Yeah, But
Right,
we're
yeah.
comedy nerds. Like,
Right.
the world doesn't care about this stage. It doesn't matter that celebrities get up there and do bad monologues and then people make fun. It's like, for me, walking up to it, I looked down and there were scuff marks, and I was like, holy shit, I'm about to walk up on this stage. All right. And then, 5 or 10 minutes of disastrous horseshit make 'em ups. And then I was off. Don't call me. Don't laugh. Don't call me. Don't do nothing. Leave me alone.
Can I ask? And I'm going to go back to something real quick. Well, I'm going to ask this question, then I'm going to move on. What sound does an amoeba make?
It's all right. It sounds like this. You never heard an amoeba? All right. It sounds like this. That was it.
It sounds like someone just drank a refreshing sip of a cup.
Yeah. And you can hear them if there's a bunch of them. Oh boy, you can hear them, and then you fucking really got a lot of stuff to sort out.
Realize how many amoebas are in Sprite commercials.
Tiny little refreshing bastards, aren't they? And that's where we came from, Corey. So remember that. That's where we came from. We are amoebas.
That's the noise I make when I'm happy too. I can't believe it. Now I got to go all the way back to where I came from. This life is so cyclical.
Sick and cyclical.
Did you like or did you see Don't Think Twice? The Michael
Don't Think Twice. Yeah, the Michael Birbiglia movie. Yeah, it was pretty good. Chris Gethard was in it. Keegan-Michael Key. I liked Kate Micucci was really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's so good in it. Who else was in that?
Gillian Jacobs.
Gillian Jacobs. Who was part? They were all the improv group, right? The people that were mentioning.
Yeah.
And then who else? Was there another woman on it?
I forget her name. The dark-haired woman.
Dark-haired? Was it Tammy Sager? Maybe. Yeah. Who knows? Yes. She's hilarious, by the way.
It was Ryan Hurst from Sons of Anarchy.
It was Josh Ron, Harin, Sean, hyphen, jizz face. I did like it. I mean, it had an interesting look into improv, but it's Mike Birbiglia's look into improv.
But the idea of the support system that you were bringing up to me before, then thinking about in that when they were like the same as wrestlers and as comedians, it was just like you're that egomania that takes. I don't know why I said that like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Egomania.
Freak out. But that egomania inside of it, it's like, he was my student, and that's why he got.
Yeah.
That exists everywhere.
Yeah, I guess it must. It sucks, but there are some people that I bet aren't like that. I don't know. Armando Diaz was the guy that ran the Magnet Theater, which is where I did most of my stuff, all my time in New York. And he just really loved improv, and he loved helping people figure it out, I think. And I think he got kicked a bunch or something while he was in Chicago. He came over with all the UCB, doer goods. Doer-wells?
Do-gooders?
Doer-good? Do-gooders?
Do something.
Dump wells, dude. I'm trying to say dump wells.
Dump wells.
No, do-gooders.
Ne'er-do-wells.
Aha! That's what I wanted. But I don't think that's what I wanted to say, but that's the word I wanted. So I think
Gary Goldman did a bit about that. He was like ne'er-do-wells. They do well? Nair.
Yeah, we'll call him Johnny B. Bad for this reason. But he was there with them with Del Close. He had like a lot of firsthand inspiration from a lot of improv gods, I guess. But he was never on TV shows, and he missed a lot of different opportunities, it seems, that other people might have had.
The big shots came and went and passed him by.
or came and hit right
Right.
next to him. You know,
Right, yeah.
it's like lightning always strikes, but it's never hitting you. And I think he's a super happy dude. I think he's a very talented guy. So I don't think it really
Right.
matters. But
It helps to be. I think he might be in the mindset of other people's success isn't my failure, and that's exactly I think where the best place to be is.
fuck yeah, I totally agree.
And
It's
that's-
that.
Hopefully, that's the way I like to think I am. I don't come out here and advertise myself as anything because, if you come out here, if I come out here and I tell you I'm funny and I tell you I'm smart and we're talking for 15 minutes and I haven't made you laugh once and I haven't said anything except for stuff you can prove me wrong on, then not only am I unfunny and not smart, I'm a fucking liar.
Yeah, you're a liar now,
So-
and you're a loser, so you're gonna die.
Right.
Sorry.
You lied and lost till you died from it. Either way, I'm very much in the realm of I'd hope that if you have the opportunity to share your voice, I absolutely know that your voice is way different than what mine is. So I really do want to encourage you, pick back up, go past 5 episodes next time.
Yeah,
And I don't look at that as something that's a competition to me because your path has been way different than mine and your voice is going to be way different than mine. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to discourage you from absolutely finding exactly who you want to be, because I think this has incredibly helped me. Like I was way different when I first started this, like 238 episodes in, I'm a different dude. I was a 33-year-old kid who, I had a wrestling podcast. I still have a wrestling podcast. We just celebrated our 6 years. Wrestle Rock. Everybody check that out. It's on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. But
hell yeah. How do you spell Wrestle Rock?
Rassle. Wrestle.
L-E. Well, hell yeah. Cool.
Wrestle. But what I'm saying that when we were starting it, I knew that there was tons of podcasts that I was already listening to that I liked the style and the format, and I knew Wrestle Rock wasn't that. I knew that we only had 1 hour, and we had to talk about the current wrestling news, and I was like, there's so much stuff I want to say that I just can't say. There's so many like jokes that I want to make that I can't make. And there's like moments where I want to like kind of give the people who are listening like a peek behind the curtain of who I actually am. But I'm not, that's not the format out for it. So right. I'm going to start my own thing. And that was kind of by accident too. And that was like, there was a studio, like a recording studio around where I live in the suburbs of Philly, and I was like, oh, how much do they charge you? My friend had a show there, and she was like, nothing. What? You want your own show? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. What do you want the show to be? And then I typed out exactly what this show is, and I was like, well, I'm gonna call it Evolving with Corey Castle. I'm like, oh yeah, like it just like all regurgitated itself into this text message, and that's what's continued to be.
That's badass, dude.
And I think what I was doing was when I have conversations with people, like the kind of people who fascinate me. That's why the only kind of people I want to have on the show are people who I think have a very fascinating story or have a fascinating journey that's made them who they are. So I would call a lot of people when I would just talk to them. Like before I ever started this, I would go, wow, that's a really evolved way of thinking. Like you're a very evolved person. So it seemed like it was only natural to call it Evolving with Corey Castle, because it's not just called Evolving with Corey Castle because that's my name. That's for sure. That's my gimmick name. It's a gimmick, but it's like, but you can listen, and in the journey of it, you can evolve with me. Mm-hmm. So it's not just called Evolving with Corey Castle because I'm the host of it. It's like, oh, come evolve with me.
All of us. Yeah, all are evolving.
All of us. all of us. If you listen, I hope you like it, and I hope you continue to evolve with me. So that being said, if this is your first time ever checking out Evolving with Corey Castle, go back and check out the other 237 episodes.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And
We're starting with 238.
Don't be a gosh dang loser.
Yeah.
Go ahead
Try
and hit
your
that
hardest.
subscribe button.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
you just die from being a gosh dang loser.
Yeah, you don't click subscribe enough times, you'll die. I'll let you know. I've been thinking about it actually, just getting it back up, and I don't know what it would be about, or I don't love hearing myself talk that much, but maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to unleash.
Well, honestly, man. Okay, let me word it to you this way, and then I have just a couple more things, and I'll send you home with a hot dog and a handshake. You can ride off into the sunset and go take care of the guy who's helping you out. Go help out the guy who's helping.
Help my helper friend, guy.
Help my helper friend. Anyway, but I think the idea of the platform is. I think what fascinates me tons is I don't have kids. I don't know if I ever do want kids, but I do know that I like the opportunity to be a role model to a younger generation, if not my same generation. If I can find words that will help somebody change the way they think about stuff and maybe apply it to them and maybe make their life a little bit different, better, their outlook a little different. And whether that all comes now or like after I've passed and people come back and listen to the episodes, I think that it's really neat to have the on the record journey where, if I'm not here, the people who love me can come back and listen to what my real self was like. So I think that when I hear about you only doing 5 episodes and now you have a 12-year-old daughter, soon she's gonna, she's gonna be an adult person.
She's close already.
Right. So like the record of like I can find out the stuff about my dad, like from the things that he's got out there publicly, but this is such a personal level. This is such a personal level for her to, like, have that for when, maybe you guys move away from each other. Maybe, she's at college or something, and I think it'd be a neat timestamp for her to understand. Speaking of that, I do this segment on the show that I call audio time travel. Right? Cool. So, in, let's say, 20 years from now, right? So, 2041.
2041. I'm ready for it. Yeah. I'll be 42.
Cool.
Yeah.
So wherever you are, your daughter's going to be 20 years older too. Wherever you are, if you're not here, whatever, who knows, who knows if I'm going to be here, if you're going to be here, but you have this opportunity right now to be speaking right to Lula.
Yeah.
Lula. You're speaking right to Lula.
Right now in 20 years?
But you're speaking to the 2041 version of her. This is the audio time travel.
I am so disappointed.
So when you talk, that's the message you're leaving her. I'm disappointed in you.
Oh, I'm so disappointed in you. What have you done? Look around. What is that? A dump? Bless you, face just.
You sneezed.
Time capsule. Oh man, what would I tell her? Glad you made it, buddy. That's half of it, right? She would be, in 20 years, she'll be 32.
Dude, that's the prime podcast listening age.
She's smack dab in the perfect demo. And here she is looking through all these old podcasts for the message that her dad left her before he blew up himself.
Absolutely, man. That's what fascinates me so much. I get tons of pleasure out of thinking about the fact that like someone is seriously going to go back and research what you've done because they love you and they care about you and they want to know who you truly are.
Yeah, that's true. Totally.
So every right now is in the future. Every right now from this point on is in the future. So anyone hearing this is hearing it in the future.
Even though it was right now for us.
Even though for right now, it was us. It was our right now.
Yeah.
That's another thing I constantly say. And please steal it, use it, apply it.
Okay.
If you would give me credit, cool. If not, whatevs. But I always say, so many people waste an incredible amount of right nows on right nows that have already happened and they can't get back.
That's true, man.
Please use that if you want to use it.
What did we just see? I just watched little kids crawling around the hill. It's like, get out of here. You can't play Goat Simulator. What the heck's wrong with you? Dang it. We just watched a movie that was all about that. Like, I can never remember, dude. Memory shot. No stories. Can't share anything. Forget it.
Well, here's the thing. You should have the opportunity to have your voice while you remember the things. Say it into a recording device, so that later on you can be like, oh, I forget that. Oh, well, you know what? I said it on a podcast. Oh, let me go back and listen.
Yeah, I can reference.
You can reference it. You can reference it.
I'll have to reference that. I forgot it again. Referencing, forgetting.
Quote mode. End quote mode. So, hypothetically, this is the way I wrap it up. And I mean, you might know this. I don't know.
I do.
If you've listened.
Yeah. I've been waiting.
So hypothetically, I've gifted you this show.
Yes.
This has been your first episode of Evolving with George Basil, the pilot episode. Now, in a very Jerry Springer's final thought type of way, you wrap up a little pretty bow of what life lessons you can take away from this conversation and from any conversation that can make you evolve to a better version of yourself tomorrow. Or a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today.
Yeah. Great.
And then at the end, just to keep it silly,
take care of each other. Take care of yourself and each other. Or take care of yourself. Or take care of your mother.
Just to keep it real silly at the end, you do your best Alf impression and say, "Hey, Willie."
Oh, I miss Alf, dude. Okay. Final thought. Wasting the right nows that we have right now will only make you look like a loser when you're dead. And dying from losing right now is about the dumbest thing a loser could do. And with that...
like the Bill Burr bit when he was like, I'm going to die the asshole. Like, people have nothing to say at your funeral. He always ironed his shirts. He paid his bills. He paid his bills on time. He's a bill paying son of a bitch.
We all know that guy, too. And then, hey, Willie!
That was a great one. That was the best one so far.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Cats.
I want to make sure I say to you, I'm happy to be a resource to you in any way that I can possibly be.
Thanks.
So,
man.
Excuse me. If you need a friend, if you need a chat, if you need a resource, if you want to get together and talk about any podcasts or anything, if you want to sit down and write some jokes and want to try to do stand up, we can work on that together.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm not a pro comedian. I'm not an established pro, and I don't have a big name yet. But
here it comes.
But I'm very willing to help you, and I hope that you take me up on any of that. I hope
Thanks,
that I can
man.
be a resource that if you know, maybe you want contact information for somebody that I might know that could connect you to something that's cool. Absolutely, I want to connect you to something that's cool.
Cool. Hell yeah. I appreciate it.
And
That's really kind of you.
happy that we're friends now.
Yeah, me too. And I'm going to let you know. I think you lit the fire to get me starting on another podcast. I'll update you.
I really honestly I hope all the time that when it comes because dude I don't have a gigantic following. I don't have a mega audience. I don't have lots of downloads on my podcast. I don't have lots of YouTube subscribers. So asking somebody to do this is almost like I've just asked you for like tons of your time and tons of your effort to just hang out with me. And I'd hope at the end of it, all you'd get is like, dude, I really motivated you in some way. And then you could
Definitely.
at the end of it be like, wow, that was really something. That was really worth my time. That was really worth.
Absolutely. And it totally is, man. And thank you for having me again. It's like pure positivity. So I appreciate it. You're evolving in the right direction.
Sorry, I was so sniffly and sneezy.
That's okay.
Gosh dang, ding dang allergies.
That's all good. Next time it'll be when we'll do it again in the fall, and you'll be like, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I got no problems.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it.
Just you know, I'm fucking happy as shit. I'm really, really happy. I'm very, very excited, and I hope that in any way I can be a positive. If I'm lighting a fire under you now, or if I'm motivating you now, how psyched am I to know that like we could be friends and I could do that all the time if you need.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So
You'll be my first guest.
I'm happy to be your first guest. And you know, I'm just gonna say, if I think I said it already, but if this is your first time checking out Evolving with Corey Castle, please go back and listen to the other episodes, or if not, just hit subscribe so that you get new episodes every time they post. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You'll get new episodes every Monday at noon Eastern. And you know, hit that comments and let me know you exist. Be fun, have safe, keep evolving.